The Crestron MPS integrates 5 separate AV components into a single rack-mountable package. MPS brings a complete presentation control and signal routing solution to boardrooms, classrooms, and auditoriums. MPS works right out of the box and may be controlled directly from the front panel. MPS from Crestron.
Worried about the future of wireless? Avoid all those UHF headaches with Sabine's 2.4 GHz Smart Spectrum wireless microphone systems. 70 simultaneous channels, all good worldwide and all immune to TV interference. Sabine Wireless, the only wireless mic with a future.
Welcome back to this month's issues of Sound Communications Viewpoint. I'm Jay Armand, and I'm joined by Mike White. Today we're talking about IT AV convergence. Mike, one of the things I wanted to get into before the break was a recent experience that we'd had at my organization where we'd installed a video trunking system for a local school district. And we were able to demonstrate to the customer that the system could work in a test environment, in a switch. We could demonstrate that the system would work on a switch. But when we installed it onto their LAN, the system didn't function as they expected it to function. There were certainly many, many challenges that were associated with us finally getting that issue to resolution. And one of the biggest challenges for me and for my organization in that was how far do we go to help our client work with their network. Part of the problem is they don't want us to work with their network, and we want to get paid. We want the system that we sold them to do. What are some solutions and some ideas that you've seen out in the field that have worked and that you've employed that we can get our viewers to think about doing?
Well, I've had similar situations, Jay. In fact, it's constantly a factor associated with digital signage. There is always that element of connectivity to the network. Yeah. Now, in answering to your question, what can we do as AV integrators to make it better? Well, the very first thing is to get the IT person involved up front. The second thing is to recognize they generally work on a different timeline than those of us in the AV world.
Yeah.
The IT guys, it's pretty consistent that if you give them a week or so, they can provide for you a static IP. But expect them to do it the same day? Not going to happen.
So what you're saying is if our project managers show up on site and say, oh, what's the IP address for this video conferencing endpoint?
Not going to happen.
That they don't think like that.
Well, they're going to push back. It's not okay. IT needs to be brought in up front. They need to, they really oftentimes have that attitude, it's not on my network.
Right. Don't you think the problem is with doing that is that most of the people, most of our project managers who deal with only a certain percentage of IT folk, they're still dealing with a lot of facilities people, they don't know how to talk the talk, that they're afraid that they're going to open up their mouth and say something stupid, and all of the IT people are going to be laughing at them, and that they're worried about their masculinity.
There's definitely a different language associated with it, and that just comes back to the absolute priority that we as AV integrators have to have in integrating an IT professional into our staff, into our project management, into every element of our business, because we need liaisons that can go between our AV world and IT world, speak their language.
I think that, reflecting back onto the issues that we had, that those types of things, and we learned a lot from making those mistakes. And the big thing that we learned is that we're either going to step up and provide this service to our customer, or we're going to walk in and we're going to wash our hands and we're going to say, hey, it worked on the test switch, it's your problem, fix it. And I personally think that this is we're at a tremendous crossroads where the AV dealers have the opportunity to bring these skills in-house, bring those skills to their people so that they can go to the customer and say, hey, we're going to get in, we're going to knock heads with your IT guys, and we're going to fix this problem.
Absolutely. It is to the point to where we don't necessarily want it, but there are times that we will be given responsibility for some network activities that would have classically never been our responsibility, and we've got to have the professional staff to be able to handle it, to be able to speak their language, to be able to deliver, because otherwise we won't get paid.
Right.
I mean, we won't get paid. It's video teleconferencing is only video teleconferencing if it actually works. Just having the equipment there, we don't get paid.
Yeah, and I think that one of the biggest challenges that we face in dealing with enterprise-wide IT staffs is that they live in a TCP world. They live in a world where packets can get retransmitted. We live in a UDP world where packets cannot get transmitted, and if it's lost, it's lost. It's live video, and it doesn't do any good to have it a minute from now. I needed it when I said the word. So for live streaming, for video conferencing, we find that most of the IT staffs are not equipped to deal in a UDP paradigm. It's something completely foreign to them.
Yeah, we run into it all the time, especially when we're trying to work where we're told that, look, we will take care of the infrastructure wiring for you. Just tell us what you need. And we will say, we need a Cat5 between point A and point B, and they will lay down a Cat6E, and the net result is, if we're using a Cat5 transmission device or a UTP type transmission device, that Cat6E is actually not as good for us. While it's better for them on the network side,
right,
it is not as good for us.
We're going to touch more on that in the next 2 weeks in the next episode. And one of the big issues that we're going to cover in the next episode is whether you're going to hire an IT person and teach them AV or an AV person and teach them IT. So for VIEWpoint, Sound and Communications VIEWpoint, I'm Jay Armand, and I'm joined by Mike White. Thank you very much.